Hello students, welcome to IGC IT and GATE classes. This tutorial is a part of a series of tutorials of GATE instrumentation, and the topic is flow sensor. This topic is a part of sensors and industrial instrumentation. So in flow sensors, basically if you see the syllabus of flow sensors, there are basically five categories of flow sensors we have to study. One is your differential pressure flow meters, and another is variable area. You have electromagnetic flow meters, you have ultrasonic flow meters, you have turbine flow meter, some open and closed channel flow meters are there. If you have analyzed the last 10 years or 12-year questions, then there is one thing common, and that is the questions being asked mostly from the electromagnetic flow meter and ultrasonic flow meter and turbine flow meter. These three topics are very important. Out of this, ultrasonic flow meter is very important. Now coming to differential pressure flow meter, there is one relation between the differential pressure and the flow rate. If you know that relation and if you understand the concept, it's very easy to solve this question. So first we'll see the last 10-year questions. We are not going to solve it in this lecture, but we are going to analyze the level of questions, severity, and how much effort is needed, what type of questions being asked, any concept is repeating or not, and which topic is more important. As I told, ultrasonic flow meter is very important. So yeah, let's see in the previous year questions whether that is more important or not. And one thing that I realized in this topic is that this topic is very simple. Concept is not much. So if you understand the concept, it is very easy to get full marks. So generally in every year, 2 or 3 marks question used to come from this particular topic, flow sensors. So first we'll see the previous year question. So one thing is that this topic is designed from the GATE IN point of view, but most of the topics are common for engineering services mains as well as prelims also. So let us move forward and see the previous year questions. So this question was being asked in GATE 2019 question. So this question is from Peter Tube. See the question. Peter tube is used to estimate the velocity of incompressible fluid of density. Some density is given, and pressure difference is given, and the velocity it is asking. So in the upcoming lectures, if you study the Peter static tube, you can very easily solve this question by knowing the relation between Q and del P, the pressure difference and the flow rate. But there is some concept behind that. First we'll study the concept, then we are going to solve the questions. Next in 2018, the question is asked from ultrasonic flow meter. So this is also one of the most important topics here. Here you are placing one transmitter and receiver. First you will send some signal from transmitter to the receiver. Whatever the time it will take, we will calculate as t1 by knowing the length. Speed equal to some distance upon time. So next, again, this receiver now will act as transmitter. Initially, when if this is A, so this will transmit some signal. It will go to the receiver. Receiver will receive, and again it will act as transmitter, and it will send the same signal to this point B. So there are 2 points A and B. A and B. So you are sending some signal from A to B and again B to A. So definitely there will be some time difference, transition time difference. So based on that transition time difference, you can calibrate that with the help of in terms of your flow rate or velocity. So this is one category of the question from ultrasonic flow meter. Next is the electromagnetic flow meter. So here you can see, so if you study in the subsequent lectures in ultrasonic flow meter, it works on the principle of your this one, Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So there is a small relation between your uh, output voltage and your length of the conductor, magnetic field, and velocity. So this is very simple topic, and like you can easily get 2 marks out of this. Next, again, see the question is again repeating from the Peter static tube. So there is a relation between Q and del P. So if you know the relation between Q and del P, you can calculate your velocity, right? This is also 2 marks question. Next, see again ultrasonic transducer question they ask in GIT 2014. So here, similar way, we will send some signal. We'll calculate your time t1. Again, we'll send some signal. We'll calculate time t2. If you know the difference of this transition time t1 and t2, we can calibrate this transition time in terms of your velocity of the flow or flow rate or q, right? So in 2013, this is not tough question, but a lot of concept is behind that. So this tungsten wire, hot wire anemometer, this is not the complex topic, but there are a lot of concept behind that. So when we will see the concept in great details, and we will derive some of the equation, like we will study the static characteristic, we will study the dynamic characteristic, then we can calculate the transfer function and some steady state, what will be the resistance, and all those things we will study. So here again, in again another question, this is from same differential pressure flow meter, so you have to know the relation between q and del p. So one thing what we noticed here, so questions are repeating. This concept is very easy, and you can very easily get the 2 marks out of 2-3 marks out of this topic. Again in 2012, the question was from Peter static tube. So in 2011, some turbine flow meter question is being asked, right? In 2009, this is also a differential pressure question. So you have to know the pressure between A, B, and C point. So when we will study these things, so you would have known that these things that initially the pressure was normal, and when it passes through some obstruction, so their pressure used to be less. And here the similar pressure wants to resume, but there is some permanent pressure drop. So this point, there is some pressure drop based on this point. So if you compare A and B point, A and C point, the pressure used to be similar, but there is some pressure drop at this point. So A is greater than C. The pressure at A is greater than pressure at C. So this is one concept. Now, if you know the concept, you can easily take this and you can get 1 or 2 mark question out of this. So this is what we have seen in the last 10-year questions. So what we have realized that the concept is very easy, and to get 2 or 3 marks out of this topic is very easy, right? So based on the syllabus, uh, I have classified the flow sensors in basically 3 categories: obstruction type flow meter, measurement of flow rate in difficult situation. We'll study what is this difficult situation, why it is named so. Another third category is the hot wire anemometer. So in obstruction type flow meter, these all are of same category. Whatever the flow meters are there, these all are obstruction type flow meter. What is obstruction type flow meter? Generally, let's say this pipe is there and some fluid is flowing with some velocity, and you want to measure the flow rate or fluid velocity. You will place any obstruction, that may be orifice, that may be turbine, that may be float, or that may be anything, flow nozzle or anything. So right, if there is a pipe and fluid is flowing with some pressure, and if you are placing any obstruction, so definitely there will be pressure drop, pressure difference. So if you measure, if you see this first point, if you see this second point, definitely there is some pressure difference between these 2 points. And you know the relation between q and del p. There is a relation between the differential pressure and your flow rate. So how you will measure this differential pressure? You will place any YouTube manometer, and you can measure the differential pressure, right? So from YouTube manometer you can measure the differential pressure, and this differential pressure is calibrated in terms of your flow rate or flow velocity. So this part is from measurement of pressure. This part is from measurement of flow, right? Let us see what is Peters static tube. So this is used for the point flow measurement. Why it is point flow? So I'm taking the similar pipe, and if I wanted to measure the velocity of this fluid, of the flowing fluid, velocity of the flowing fluid at this particular point. So what we can do, we can place a Peters static tube. So in Peters static tube, the structure is such that there are 2 points. one is stagnation point, another is static point. So if you know the difference between, so definitely when the fluid is flowing at this particular point, at this particular point, there will be pressure. What pressure will be there? Pressure will be zero. The fluid is directly striking this point and instant pressure will be zero, instant pressure. And if you compare, if you're taking this another point, this is one point A, this is another point B. If you know the pressure difference between these 2 points, you can place any manometer and you can calculate your pressure difference, and you know the relation between Q and LP. We'll study what is the relation between Q and LP, but for the time being, you understand that there is relation between Q and LP. If you know the differential pressure, you can easily get to know your flow rate, and if you know the area, you can divide and you can get your this one flow velocity also. Flow velocity also. Next, there are two flavors. One is constant area variable pressure and constant pressure variable area. So in constant area variable pressure is that pressure is variable. So generally in the venturimeter or orifice meter or flow measure, what we used to, the pipe structure is like that. Diameter will keep on reducing at some particular point and it will again resume. So if you place any orifice or what is orifice? Orifice is nothing but your plate. This plate is there, and your some hole is there in this plate. So if the fluid is there, if the fluid is passing, then it is having very less opening to pass through this pipe. So there will be some pressure drop here. So if you calculate this point and this point, again, you know, so this is P1, this is P2. So there will be differential pressure, and how you will measure the differential pressure? You can place any manometer and you can calculate the differential pressure. So these three are of same category. Next, coming to your rotameter. So in rotameter, this is constant pressure variable area. So a rotameter, the design is such that you are placing the sensor vertically. You are placing the sensor vertically. This is pipe. You wanted to measure the flow. You wanted to measure the flow. This pipe is again going here, right? So this part is your rotameter. This part is your rotameter, and there will be some readings on this tube, and you are placing a float. You are placing a float in this. So based on the balanced force equation, so if you see this one, if you see the float, there are some forces acting downward due to some gravity, there are some forces acting upward due to buoyancy, there are some forces acting upward due to your drag. So when you are balancing these forces, you can calibrate these things in terms of your velocity, in terms of the velocity. Next topic is from measurement of flow rate in the difficult situation. So what is basically difficult situation is that, so let's say the fluid is some anything, it can be laminar or it can be transitional, or let's say we want to measure the flow of the mixed fluid. Let's say some the mixture of oil or some mixture of cement and water is flowing through this pipe, and you wanted to measure the flow rate. So you cannot place any obstruction, or it will be very difficult when you're placing any obstruction and measuring the pressure difference, calibrating in terms of your flow rate. So you have to go for some non-invasive mechanism. Non-invasive means non-contact mechanism. So there are two categories. One is electromagnetic flow meter. This is based on the principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Another category is ultrasonic flow meter. So these two categories are non-invasive mechanism. Basically, in ultrasonic flow meter, what we used to do, we will place one transmitter, we will place one receiver, that we have seen in the previous year question. So you will be sending some signal, it will go to receiver, again this will act as transmitter, it will come here. Based on the transit time difference, we can calibrate in terms of your flow velocity. In electromagnetic flow meter, what we used to do, we will place any turbine or something like that. There will be some blades, right? So here you will decide one point, and this blade will cross this point in particular time, how many times this blade is crossing. So you can get the frequency, right? You will place here your magnetic pickup and you can calculate you can calculate the velocity. So here you'll be using a pulse meter, and you can calculate your pulse. So all these things are such that the setup is very it's not that much easy, but concept is very easy. The lying concept behind this, all these things are very easy. And another category is hot wire anemometer. This is also one of the important topics. So here what we'll do, we'll place one wire we'll place one wire, and we will hit this wire in the flow, in the pipe. What we'll do, we'll place one wire and we'll hit this wire. So it will rise to some temperature. Now when the fluid is flowing, this will again decrease, its temperature will decrease, so there will be temperature difference. You can calibrate this temperature difference in terms of your flow velocity, right? So these are all the flow sensors. So in the upcoming lectures, we will take one or two topics and we will explore those things. First we'll see the concept rigorously, then we'll solve the questions, two or three questions. We'll learn some of the concepts. So let's stop here for today. In the upcoming lectures, we'll take one topic and we'll study those concepts, and we'll solve some of the questions in great details. Thank you. Thank you.